Now I think it's working.
There you go.
We are Facebook
Yes.
streaming.
Okay. 4 minutes late. My bad.
All right. That's all right.
So sorry. It just, I don't know what happened. No worries though. We're all good to go. All right. So Moneywise Wednesday.
We're back.
You Christmas. Crazy. Y'all, the holidays are like months away. You can count on your fingers.
107 days.
Oh my.
Whoa, that made it real.
Make it really real for sure.
I mean, making the PowerPoint for the presentation, nah, that just totally made it real to me.
That's it. The music, the countdown. I think
Yeah.
all the feels are about to start coming in as we start getting a little bit cooler into the month. I think everything is about to start really coming into play. Look at Ai, she's smiling, and it's nowhere near holiday season. Right? That's that feel, right? That's that good.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
7 bi-weekly paychecks or 3 state paychecks away.
Somebody's really thinking about all this. It's like she has grandkids or something.
Right.
All right. So today we are talking about holiday spending and savings. I'm going to go ahead and click on, oh, hang on. I already clicked on the wrong thing. Going to go ahead and click here so we can peruse this together. Very festive, getting us in the mood. What is y'all's favorite thing about the holidays?
If I had to say, it'd probably be the food. Right? I'm just gonna be honest.
That's what I was going to say. You stole mine.
Sorry. The food.
And mine is getting together with family.
Of course it is,
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Of course that would be yours.
Everybody piles into our house and we have a great time. So
Do you guys think that it's going to look a little different this year because of all the COVID mess?
Honestly, I would probably say not so much, Kelly. This is probably one of the rewards for successfully making it through for those that did through COVID crisis, right? We need some way to express, one, our love for the ones that are around us that made it through this crisis.
Right.
This upcoming holiday season is going to be a bit more emotional for a lot more people. There have been people that they've lost throughout the last 7-8 months. But there's also been family members that they've gained. I think it's now time to celebrate life for what it is, regardless of the normalcy returning sooner rather than later or not. I think this is the holiday season that we're going to get tremendous amount of feels for those that we consider to be our loved ones and friends. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. What do you think, Kelly?
I don't know. I think it might be a little different. I think people will be a little hesitant to get together still, but I think that people will make the best of it. I think that they will find ways to celebrate the holiday and to celebrate their families.
Yeah,
I know
think
in my house, it's going to be a big family celebration.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I mean, most of us have been hanging out with our family or
Right.
our extended family. We're starting to get regathering again.
Yep.
I think we're going to probably, I know for me, some of my friends, we've already been talking about some of the things going on in the holidays, and not just Christmas. I mean, I know this is very Christmas focused discussion so far, but I mean, there's Thanksgiving, there's Halloween, there's all these different holidays things coming up that I think are going to look very different for us this year. A lot of friends that I've talked to, I think a lot of their traditions with friends will be limited, but I think families will probably gather more, but friends I think are gonna, sorry, my cat wants to say hello to everyone. He is like all up in my business right here. So, in my Christmas mug, he's trying to drink my Christmas water. So, all right, well, let's just kind of roll in and talk about what's the purpose of today's workshop. First of all, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, remember this is a live webinar through Zoom. Be sure to go to envisioncu.com/webinars so that you can click on the Zoom link if you want to ask specific question and answers on the live webinar. Otherwise, you'll be able to comment, ask questions down in the comments below, and we'll be able to answer those questions for you after today's webinar. So today, we are going to talk about how to prepare for the financial impact of the holiday seasons. We're going to learn strategies to help you start saving now. We are also going to talk about how to avoid using credit cards. This is really a challenge for me. This is a new cat in my house. It's like I'm used to having a dog, but this cat is a challenge. This is going to be a really funny episode for us. Might have to go into our bloopers reel that we hopefully will make at the end of the year.
We have to release that before the end of the year. People have to.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
That's the Christmas
We have
present
so many
food.
fun moments. I'm just going to let them drink out of the water cup. It's making them happy. Okay. So we're going to talk about how to avoid using credit cards and impulse shopping. I think that's the one that gets a lot of us in trouble, right? The holiday season. Start off the new year with less debt. So not just thinking about the holidays coming up, but how do we want to start the new year? I know some of you are really, really big into New Year resolutions, right? You're like, a fresh start. It means a lot to me to have a clean slate. It's really hard, especially in the world of finances, to feel really good about your financial goals. You're not thinking ahead at the end of that previous year, right? Like, what are you going to roll over into January with? So how are we going to be able to have some smart planning for next year? All right, so let's talk the details. The financial impact of the holiday season. So last year, this was reported in USA Today, there was $1.8 trillion spent in holiday gifts, travel, all of the above. Anything that is tagged holiday related, $1.8 trillion. That is a lot of money, guys. How much of that was yours? Okay. So there is a breakdown as well on what the average holiday costs were in 2019 for us. The average family is going to spend about $942 on gifts. Okay, so some of you guys are like, oh gosh, I spent way over that, depending on the number of kids you have or kids you have, right? So some of you guys are spending a lot of money on gifts. Food, $152 on food. And I think this is specifically like that meal, that holiday meal.
Yes.
And again, we're not talking about Thanksgiving, all the candy you buy for Halloween. I know Halloween's probably going to look a little different for us this year, right? But $152 in food. And I put in here, not including spirits. That does not include the money that people are spending on alcohol and beverages and all of that fun stuff. And then look at this, $1,000 on travel.
Kelly, that last number is probably one of the scarier numbers for me. Not so much as the gifts, because people give in a way that defines how much they love that person, right? So I'm not going to harp on it. The food, that specific meal you're referencing, yeah, that's pretty close. That's pretty close to what I spend every year for my little small family, right? But the $1,000 of travel, right? We're talking hotel, we're talking about food, we're talking about fuel, we're talking about the maintenance prior to the trip, we're talking about the maintenance after the trip. We're talking about so many things that go into that last $1,000 travel bucket that can be easily blown if you're not careful and you budget properly for the holiday expenses that you're going to accrue. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that number looks like during this travel season, in relation to everything that's going on in the world. I'm interested to see what that number sums up to be for some people's checking accounts and savings accounts.
Yeah, and I think that $1,000, like, right, if you're someone who hasn't planned ahead for that yet or haven't thought about it until now, it's like, well, are we or are we not traveling to go see the extended family? Or you have, close family that's hosting Christmas or Thanksgiving, and they haven't thought about that till now. And they're like, if you don't have $1,000 right now set aside to be able to pay for those expenses, and you don't have a plan for that, that's when it becomes more difficult. If you're already midway through September and you don't have a plan for how you're going to pay for that $1,000, that's where a lot of that, credit card and getting the holiday loans and things like that really messes you up. So originally we wanted to do this lesson actually in July, like Christmas in July, so you had 6 full months to plan. So maybe, at least now, this year, doing it right now, you can also put this stuff into practice for next year's Christmas. What can I do to get 12 months ahead of the curve, right? All right, so there are some ways that you can go ahead and start planning now, okay? So we call this Moneywise Wednesday on purpose, because we want you to be more money wise, but we also have a curriculum called Moneywise that you can learn for free on our website. All you have to do is go to envisioncu.com/moneywise, and you can click through to our free financial education platform where you can learn all about budgeting and debt management and all sorts of things at your own pace as well. Okay. And of course, you can always go watch our previous webinars, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. This is a cool quote that I really wanted. I just found it when I was preparing for today's webinar. I have no idea who this Rachel person is, but I love her. And she says, remember, we don't have to continue holiday traditions that leave us broke, overwhelmed, and tired. I read some very interesting statistics. I don't know if you guys have done this, but I looked up some interesting statistics about why people make some of the decisions that they make around holiday spending. And a huge majority, like I think it was 60% of people said that the reason why they spend the money that they do is because they're doing it for someone else, whether it's I need to make mom and dad happy by us going to visit them, or I need to give my child this present because I feel like they deserve it, or because my friends are spending this much money on their kids, you know, or I have to have an extravagant spread of dinner because that's I'm keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing.
There it is. That's what I was waiting for. Keeping up with the Joneses. Everybody wants to keep up with the Joneses until they realize that the Joneses themselves can't even keep up with themselves. They're the ones that inflated income, supplementing their income on credit and everything else, right? The Joneses story is yet to be told, and I can't wait until it comes out and people stop comparing themselves to the Joneses trying to keep up, right?
Well, and if we're gonna break tradition or do anything different, this is a great year to do it, because we can use a lot of what we've gone through and all the changes that we've all experienced and the stress. This is a great year to use some of those things, not necessarily as excuses, but there are certainly more motivating reasons, right, to break tradition. I think there's still creative ways that you can connect with your family, that you can do meaningful things, that you can still have a wonderful meal without maybe going so stinking extravagant. And extravagant isn't necessarily bad. You can still do extravagant on a really awesome budget.
You sure can.
If you plan ahead, right? All right, so where do we need to start? Kelly, talk to us a little bit about why you think starting with a calendar and writing things out is a good first step for us.
So starting with the calendar and writing things out is so important because it gives you the guidelines to go through. The closer you get to the holidays, you start getting anxious, or you go off track, and you don't have any guidelines to go through. And I am guilty of this. I am so guilty. Well, I need to buy this person. I need to buy this person. I need to buy this person. If you have it all written down, you have the guidelines to go through. Just stick to it's kind of like when you go to the grocery store without your little shopping list. If you don't have your shopping list, you go all over the place. If you have your shopping list and you stick to it, you're going to stay within that budget that you've given yourself, and it's going to make it such a more pleasant holiday experience for you. Maybe not for the people you're buying for, but you're going to buy them what you planned on buying them, and you're going to put yourself in a better situation after Christmas is over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So write out all the expenses gathering up to, and gatherings that you have leading up to, and I mean like between now and New Year's, including New Year's. So if there's anything Halloween related, as things pops up, notice I put in parentheses here, it's a fluid list, because we know that events are going to pop up and things are going to change regularly. So think about Veterans Day is even squeezed like right between now and Thanksgiving. Veterans Day is, around the 10th or so. So somewhere around there. So do you have plans for that? That's a 3-day weekend. Are you going to travel? Write those things down, figure out the details of all of that. So write it all down, and then give yourself maybe a reasonable budget for each of those. If you're not really sure what a reasonable budget might be, there's a couple of different ways I know it. Coming up with how you set your budget, you can certainly go watch one of our past webinars on how you set a budget. Because I know some people are like, how do I just randomly pick something out of the air? But do some research online, find out what the average cost is for certain things, right? Or go do the homework right now. How much would it cost me to rent a place, right? Or to get a hotel, like Herschel was saying, find out what the average cost is, where you're going, and see if you might be able to set a price based on that. And then here's another one, set up a special savings account or checking account just for your budgeted expenses. So add a mind, it's set aside specifically for holiday spending. And we will talk a little bit about our holiday savings account that we have. I'll mention that near the end. But set up a special account that, you know, you can move that money into, that you can still be fluid with moving that money back and forth should you need it or something like that, right? It's a good, I think these are a good first start. Herschel, do you have anything to add to that?
No. You both hit it right on the head.
Yeah, Kelly, I
Kelly,
wanted
yeah,
to
go
add
ahead.
one little thing is, and it wasn't mentioned in here, but it's nice to give yourself a little cushion too. So if you're planning on going on your trip and you've looked at it and it's going to be $500 for that trip, let's say it's not that far away, plan for $600 or $700.
Yeah.
Have that cushion in there because you never know what's going to happen.
Sure.
One meal for a family can take a
Yeah.
big portion of that, and that's
Yeah.
experience, Doc. Because you
great
just
point.
never know. Or that one person that shows up that you really did need to buy a gift for, but you didn't know they were coming. Little things like that, that instead of it letting it set your whole weekend off or your whole holiday off in a bad way, just give yourself that cushion. And then
Wonderful
if the
advice.
unexpected happens, you're covered, and it's still going to be a relaxing, fun trip.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, okay, so how do we set our budget? So first and foremost, the first step is to go watch our previous webinars on budgeting and debt management, which are on our website, right? envisioncu.com/webinars, and get some good foundational practice in as far as how do I start? Where do I start? How do I cut out excess? Where do I find that extra cash? One thing Herschel always likes to bring up in our webinars is, you know, how can we creatively find extra cash? Okay, well, if there is no more money at the end of the month, we obviously can't have extra to put in that savings account, right? Or to start saving up. So you got to go cut somewhere else in order to free up that money. We talk extensively about that.
Absolutely.
Specifically in those two.
And Kelly, what they have to remind themselves is this is a short-term stoppage for whatever comfort that they were experiencing before, right? You don't have to work outside of the budget that you already have. You can just modify what you already have with an end date, right? Like a contract for yourself, with an end date saying that once this holiday season is over, I'm going to revert back to my movie channels on Comcast that I suspended for 4 months, right?
Sure.
Right? Or Netflix, right? It's holiday time. We're going to be spending a lot more time with family. Suspend some of those extra additional things that you have rolling in per month so you can use those funds, right, to help build your holiday budget, right?
That's a great idea.
But
I was talking to some friends last night, went for a walk last night in the neighborhood, and one of them was talking about how their local gym is offering them suspension on their memberships because a lot of people are still not going to the gym. I know there are a lot of people that are. If you're comfortable doing that, great. If not, and you've never asked for an extension or suspension, call them because they might be able to suspend that. And I know for some gym memberships, they're not cheap. So you might be able to free up, you know, 30, 40, 50 bucks a month between now and December right there. If you're not going to the gym, suspend it. Stop paying for it. Ask them for a suspension because right now with everything going on with COVID, they very well may likely offer that to you.
Valid point.
Absolutely.
Valid point.
Kelly,
So
were you going to say something else?
Yeah, I was. So getting back what Herschel was mentioning about cutting back on your TV channels and things like that and picking it back up, it may be even something that you find out that you really don't miss. And then you're just saving that money for next year. And you're going to have that much more money saved up that you won't even think about because you're not even missing it.
That's right. That's right. Short-term discomfort for long-term stability. All it takes is a brief pause, and I promise you can revert right back to your normal behaviors. But like Kelly just said, listen, there's an opportunity here that's within the silver lining that you may even see that you don't even need those additional services to help increase your savings time and time over.
Yeah, it's great. So the next question is ask yourself, do you already have a budget? If not, start one today. Now, I'll be honest, I don't live by a budget that's this firm, but I have a budget. My husband and I would sit down every 2 weeks I know, every 2 weeks. And we make a plan pretty much for every penny that we know we're going to get paid. Right. And then we're taking a look at our debt management plan and we're saying, do we keep doing things the way we need to? Are we going to make some changes? This is the time of year where you're talking about how much money could we and should we set aside in the next 7 paychecks. Right, Kelly, is that what you said? There's 7 paychecks if you get paid biweekly between now, roughly on Christmas?
Yes.
7, guys, 7 paychecks.
7.
So how much money can we set aside in the next 7 paychecks to be able to pay for Christmas with cash, right? If you don't already have a budget, we want you to start today. So on our website, we actually have this form. And if you're listening to the audio format of this webinar today, you can check it out in the show notes. But this is a fillable PDF where you can click on this form in our website. Oh, hang on. I hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys. Okay, so you can click on these fields and plug in your information. Okay, so let's say that I'm, starting a budget on 9/1. Oops. Everything is just in my favor today. Helps to have your number lock on. So say, one of you brings home $1,500 a month. Obviously, you might want to use your net here, guys, because net is what you actually have to work with. If you were completing this maybe for some other reason, as far as trying to look at what your gross income is for a lender or something like that, that'd be totally different. But for your purposes of using it at home, just go with it this way. And let's say the other person brings home $2,600 a month. I'm just randomly picking some stuff here. And then maybe you get maybe an additional source of income through another, maybe it's not compensation, but
and it could be part-time because right now, while there is a COVID crisis, a month or 2 ago would be the time where retail workers would start filling out those part-time applications so that they can get in those stores, because peak season is, people are still going to spend regardless if money is there or not. We can preach to you, we can offer this gospel every single day or every Moneywise Wednesday, but those behaviors that you display are solely going to be what you have to change yourself. We can preach this all day, every day, right?
Yeah.
We're still going to go in stores and spend money. They're still going to shop online, right? But part-time jobs are so well, once was prior to the pandemic, was so easily accessible during holiday and peak season that people never needed really truly to work outside their budget. But I don't think those opportunities are going to be so prevalent now, again, with the current crisis of
right.
in the world itself. But part-time jobs would be beneficial around holiday season. And again, it's a short-term sacrifice that you're making for long-term stability.
Yeah.
3 months that you work part-time, that income is your holiday shopping time. You never
deliver some pizzas. Or,
yeah, there you go, Kelly. There you go.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Self delivery services such as Uber Eats, all these different places. People are still going to eat.
A lot of people are still ordering their groceries at home because they're concerned about COVID. Maybe it could be like one of those grocery delivery companies. So, drivers. So like right here, let's put in what your rent might be. Let's say your rent's $1,100 a month, or your mortgage or whatever. Let's say your electric bill is $175. So you see where I'm going with this, right? Let's say that your cell phone is $200 for everyone in the house. So you see where I'm going with this. So this automatically calculates your total expenses down here. And then you can plug in all these other things. Now this is non-holiday budgeting so far. What we're doing is, what is my every day-to-day stuff? This is where you're going to be able to recognize those areas that you could potentially make some changes, right? Like both of them have just mentioned. But then it also helps you know what is your bottom line disposable income, if any at all. Okay, so down here we have it where it's going to calculate your income minus your expenses, and this is what you have left to work with. Okay, so let's say that if this number is a positive number, you're in good shape. If this number is a negative number, you need to be emailing our department at community@cu.com. We are going to help you figure out a plan, because that sounds like you have more month than you do money, and we need to help you figure that out. Okay, loans down here, loans can be a part of this. Because that might be an additional income that's gonna or expense that's gonna come out of here for you. Shows you what your debt to income ratio is. So this is kind of a catch-all budget sheet that you should be able to use. So if you're not already using a budget sheet at home, I really encourage you, start here, start with this one. All right, let's move on. Okay, so identify those areas to cut costs as soon as possible to free up some money. Set a new budget for setting savings aside. So now that you figured out what you have excess that you could spend, figure out based on that list that you made with that calendar of all the upcoming events, how much money and when you need to set that aside and where you're going to put it. And then try to stay on track with debt management strategies as well. And the reason why I put this in here is because you may have started out at the beginning of this year wanting to aggressively pay off debt, right? But then you get to the holiday season, or we're talking about the holiday season, and you go, ooh, I better stop paying off extra on that credit card that I hoped to be paid off by, say, March of next year, because I need to pay for Christmas. So try the best you can to keep your management or your debt management strategies that are already in place. Try to keep in place if you can. Now, we understand that you may need to pull back a little bit on some of that, but don't stop paying extra on some of those, some of your debt lines of credit and loans and extra credit, or extra lines of credit and things like that, credit cards.
Yes.
Can help it because you want to try to stay on track with those.
All right. And Kelly, really quick before we move to the next slide, this last statement is so important. Stay on track with debt management strategies. Guys, if you're listening, if you're watching, that's probably one of the most profound bullet points. Okay. While a lot of us tend to try and manage our debt and our strategies throughout the year, it becomes so overwhelming while trying to do for others around this time of the season. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to allow Kelly to move on to this next slide, right? Tax returns are not a form of debt management and strategies moving into the following year, right? I'm going to say that again. Tax returns are not a form of debt management and their strategies moving into the next year. You should not even be looking at your tax return for what you're doing during this holiday season, right? That should be for debt that you've already accrued, not for new debt that you plan to accrue just to satisfy somebody else's comfort, their happiness, and their well-being. You have to start thinking for yourself. Kelly, move along.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. It's a really good point. All right, so let's talk about how you, some other creative ways you might be able to save. Coupons and discounts. Now, I'm going to preface this. This is not my strength. Kelly, I don't know if it's a strength of yours. Herschel, I don't know if it's a strength of yours or in your household. But I forget, I get stressed out with the hunting and the clipping and the saving. But I have people in my family. My mother-in-law is the coupon queen. She is incredible at finding discounts and good deals, right? So I want to just put it in here to remind you, if you're trying to be really aggressive with your saving or, stay out of debt, that sort of thing, don't forget that shopping around and looking for great deals and finding those coupons are certainly worth it in the end. You can save a lot of money when you use coupons and take advantage of coupons and discounts. Now, sometimes searching for discounts can also get you in trouble because it opens the door to a lot of marketing advertising for things that you may or may not need. Like, I love Amazon. Amazon Day can be detrimental for me because it is aside from Black Friday, it is aside from Cyber Monday, it is its own day, and there are a lot of really cool things on there that I feel like I need when I see them, right? And then I see people posting stuff on resale sites all the time in groups on social media saying, this was my, splurge purchase that I've used 0 times since I bought it. So, all right. So 2 major places then, let's talk about coupons and discounts. Online, here's something someone taught me a long time ago. Are you so tired? I sound like an infomercial, but are you tired of getting junk mail in your inbox all the time? If so, set up a separate email address specifically for retail shopping. Make that your junk mail, like sign up now to get 10% off by being on our distribution list. Okay, 10% off of $100 and something purchase can save you a lot of money if you're making multiples of those purchases. So set up a separate email address, make it separate from what you already spend money on. Or what you already, I'm sorry, your regular email address that you already use on a regular basis, and save some money there. Kelly, you have something to add to that?
I don't know if all email addresses are the same, but I know Gmail actually does separate them out for you.
Yes.
So
I have multiples
Yes.
with Gmail. Mhm.
it is wonderful. Yeah,
Yep,
because
it's
you
all
don't
right there.
even
You
have
just
to
click through.
Yep,
Yeah,
you don't
it's
even have
cool.
to click on the promotions and you're good to go.
Yeah.
You get your regular mail. So
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah.
So purchase gifts based on sales like Black Friday or Cyber Monday deals. So here's how most of us, I think, shop. So it's like, so what do you want for Christmas this year? Send me your list, right? So the person sends you their list. Instead of maybe finding some personal gifts that are not necessarily on their list, because there are these really cool things called a gift receipt or a gift certificate. They can go spend it on whatever they want, or give them a gift receipt and they can return it and get what they really want in the event they don't love it, right? So, but you might be able to find a really great deal. So let's say your budget might be $50, but you bought a $50 item for $30. Boom, you saved yourself $20. Nobody has to know, right? It's a $50 item. You're done, right? The other thing I wanted to mention about this too, I did not put this on here, but I know people who shop during the year for Christmas. So when they see something that they think a friend or family might like, they'll go ahead and get it. I tried that one year. Saved me a lot of money, but I forgot where I put everything. I'm so unorganized. I know, you guys laugh.
I'm laughing because I've done the same thing.
I know. I remember finding something that I thought all of my nieces would love. I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I got them all a customized little gift. And then so when it was time to come wrapping for Christmas, near Christmas, I could not find them anywhere. I was like, dang it. So I had to go back out and buy them something new for that year. Of course, I found them years later in a closet somewhere in the house, right? But so if you're going to do that and shop throughout the year, that's fine. Have a designated spot that you will not forget about, that you keep all those items. And then, of course, look for free shipping offers, right? I love the free shipping offers. There are some things that you need to buy online that don't come with free shopping or free shipping. So, that can cost a lot of money, especially if it's a really heavy item. So if you can find it local, ship, you can save on shipping by finding something locally if possible. Takes a little bit more effort, of course, to try to time to get there versus it being shipped to your front door and things like that, but it might be worth it.
Kelly, really quick before we move over to in-store, just another online tip that I've been able to identify over years passing is if you're on social media in any way, Facebook, Instagram, all these social media platforms, there's discount and couponing groups that you can join that will help you understand the couponing piece, provide you with the coupons, and also the links to stores that are having like these crazy sales and deals. So if it's something that you're looking for, you can follow these social media groups, become a member of the group, turn on your notifications, and once that item is located or found, they'll notify that group, and then you can go and make that purchase online or go to one of the local retail stores like a Walmart. I'll follow it because they drop some crazy stuff for like yard maintenance equipment and things of that nature that you would just not believe. For instance, I was looking for a small mini fridge for my garage, right? And I knew I didn't want to spend $150 or whatever the case may have been at a Home Depot or a Lowe's. But once I started following this group, they sent me a link and I was able to get this small mini fridge that I wanted, which is relatively a decent size, for like $49. You see what I'm saying? So, so there's some things out there. You just have to get creative. And I think
and the other thing is you gave yourself enough time to find the right deal.
Yes.
Most of us are impulse. We're like, well, I decided that I need it. I have to have it by Saturday. Therefore, I better go order it online right now with 2 days free shipping. But then I paid 3 times more. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So good point, Herschel. Thanks for bringing that up. Absolutely. So more in-store options, of course, look out for daily or weekly specials. You can go old school, guys, and do the newspaper ads. They start increasing that. I know newspapers kind of like, who's buying a Sunday newspaper with coupons anymore? But as you get closer to the holidays, you're going to see that they start advertising more, especially as you get close to that Black Friday. That Sunday before Black Friday is rich with coupons and deals that are going on in the stores, right? And then here's another one, create your dishes. So like if you are coming to a holiday party and you were asked to bring something or you volunteer to bring something, choose items that are based on promotions going on in the store. So if you have a buy one, get one deal, right? Or a buy one, get one half off or 2 for whatever, create the dish based on the grocery promotions as opposed to going, well, I really want to make this particular dip because everyone loves it. Therefore, I'm going to go do it. But none of that stuff is on sale. The other thing you might want to do too, which is not here, but you might want to consider do some brand switching. So
Boom.
I grew up in a family. If my mom is watching this, love you, Mom.
Yeah, I was waiting for this.
Very, very brand loyal. And I am too. There are some, and I think we all have some things that we would never compromise the brand on, right? Because it's like there is nothing else like it. You know that it's not going to disappoint. It's going to be on point every time. But there are some things that maybe don't matter as much that you could substitute a lower priced item that might be just as good or gets the job done. Okay, so without sacrificing flavor or taste, right? So get creative with that kind of stuff. You would be surprised how much you could save. I mean, I know how many times you have a list, you go to the grocery store and you're like, oh my gosh, I did not expect to spend that much money, you know? So think about that, create a dish, look online at what the ads are for the promotions for that week, whenever, you know, whenever you're ready to shop for them, and pick something based on that. That's what we do for dinner at home. You know, what's going on? What's the sales right now? And then of course we've talked about saving on shipping by shopping local. All right, let's stay merry and be out of debt. All right, let's talk about this. This is the deep part. How much time we got?
No, right?
So avoid credit cards if at all possible. Okay. Don't pay for this year's holiday expenses next year.
Boom.
Herschel was saying, you don't know for sure that it's a sure bet that, you know, your tax return is going to be able to cover all that. Same thing here with credit cards. Unless you are already super duper grounded and wonderful and great at paying off your credit cards month over month. Mm-hmm. Stay away from this, guys. I mean, stay away from it. And don't forget, I'm just going to plug this in. You may want to go back and watch our credit card or understanding credit scores webinar, because a lot of you guys don't realize that your capacity, how much you borrow versus what you have available to you, is number two driver of your credit score. So obviously paying on time is going to be the highest one, but your capacity, right? Your usage is the next heaviest thing. So if you max out your credit cards or you go over the 30 to 50% threshold, your score is going to trend downward over the next couple of months. And remember, 4% of today's credit score is made up of the most recent 12 months of activity. So what you want to be thinking about is the next 6 to 12 months after you've made those purchases. Your score. So you need to think about what are my financial goals in 2020? Is there an auto purchase in my future? Is there a home purchase in my future? Right?
Kelly,
was I going to pay off debt?
Kelly, you hit it right on the head. That's bringing it to reality. See that what you just did? You made them stop in the snapshot of time right now and think about what my financial goals for the next 6 months are, because that's where my credit score is going to be if I accrue probably too much debt. Kelly, thank you for saying that. That is absolutely important, because next year, 6 months, right? That's going to be getting close to warm season. We're going to be wanting to travel. We're going to be wanting that new car that Kelly just mentioned, right? That's warm season. That's the time that we get out and become active and we start spending a little bit more, because we're not confined to the bounds of our home anymore because it's cold, right? Woo.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you for that.
And then, you know, keep in mind, credit cards typically have higher interest rates. And so interest is going to add to your debt. So keeping that in mind, that it's not just what you're spending today, it's what that interest is going to be, especially if you don't turn around and pay it off in 30 days. Only paying the minimums, it's not going to help you out either. And then when we hop over to loans, it's very similar, right, to credit cards. It typically takes 9 to 12 months to pay off a loan for the holiday season when you're paying what the minimums are. There are wonderful holiday loans out there and short-term loans that you could take advantage of, but they often come with high interest rates. Yes. And that's because they're unsecured loans, right? There's nothing really to show for it. It's not tied to anything. So they tend to have a higher interest rate. So try to avoid those if you can. It makes it really hard to save extra throughout the year when you have additional loans. Like if you take on a new loan now, it's going to be really hard for you to now save throughout the year next year for the holiday season for 2021, because you're going to be paying back the loan that you borrowed last year. So unless you're in a position where you can do both, we don't really recommend it. Okay. All right. And then I'm putting, don't forget reward points, but a lot of you guys use your credit card because you love the reward points that come with it. I'm one of those people. I love it too, but it's not for everyone. A lot of people who like the reward points, they're not, most of the people who use their card to get points, those are the people paying their cards off faster. Like those are the ones who are paying the minimum, or not just the minimum, they're paying like their whole balance off the next month. But if you do use your credit card or your debit card, some debit cards or some places have debit card rewards, you can still earn points when you purchase with them. But keep in mind, you may have been racking up reward points for all this time on your debit and credit card. So consider the travel and even gift purchasing, cash in your reward points for some of those things. I always spend my reward points on travel. Always, always, always. It's either getting me a rental car or a hotel for a week. I've even used it in a little bit on redeeming points. If you're like a frequent flyer or something like that, and you have a flyer thing, flyer program, you could cash in some reward points for that. Do you guys have anything to add about the reward point section, Kelly?
Yeah. So my reward points come from my debit card, which is with Envision. And I love, that's just like a bonus. And
Yeah.
you use yours for travel. I always use mine for gift cards.
Perfect.
Because you go out, you can get some amazing gift cards for all over the place. And those can be gifts. Those are for gifts basically that you're giving away just from using your debit card or your credit card. As long and associated with your checking account, you're not having a balance to pay back because it's your debit card. But those are amazing opportunities out there that you may not even know that you have. Like Kelly said, you can rack up points because you didn't even know that was available. But look into your debit cards, look into your credit cards and see what's out there, because you just never know. And it's free money.
It is. It sure is. If you're not sure, if you never knew about your YouChoose reward points with your Envision debit card, you need to go online and chat with us or give us a call at 850-942-9000 and ask them, how do I find out, or how do I get, you can even go to our website, Envision, and in the Ask Envision, type in YouChoose or reward, and it will take you to the rewards page where you can go ahead and register with your debit card and make sure that you see how many points you have. I meet members all the time who somehow don't know. I'm like, yeah, it is like the greatest bonus, Kelly, like you were saying, it's the greatest bonus ever, because you're like, I had no idea that I had all those points. It's like, I can do what with that? I think we had a member recently who she reached out to us, actually, and she was so excited about what she used her points on. I can't even remember what it was for, but I mean, I've heard of people buying like name brand purses and bags, Coach. Someone bought a Roomba for their house to clean. Those are expensive. Yeah, I mean, incredible stuff. Going on a cruise, like.
I use a lot of my points that I accrue throughout the year on my purchases for fuel cards throughout the month. If I'm traveling, hotels, obviously, just things that would allow me to save what I would have spent in reality on those things, to move that over to my savings account. Now I don't have to spend $65 for this 2 weeks to fill up my truck or whatever. Right now I can redeem it on this Shell gas card that I just redeemed some of my points that I've already past purchases for. Now I just move that over. That's an unexpected gift, like Kelly said. It's a what'd you say, a big surprise,
a bonus.
A bonus. There you go.
Bonus.
But you're using yours the right way by using it to replace and move money into your savings. I just use it.
Well, and I know with our credit card one, you can just do cash back reward.
Cash back.
Redeem any of those reward points
and make a payment on your card.
Yeah. And a lot of the merchants that partner with credit card companies, they will offer you discounts. So go online and see what discounts by using your debit or credit card. You can also get discounts at certain merchants. So anyways, there's a lot of really super cool ways. Okay, I kind of wanted to stop here and park for a minute about what is the best gift you think you can give yourself this holiday season? And notice that it's just that, because you fill in the blank here. You all may have a certain personal goal. The best gift I can give myself is being with family and friends this year. Maybe it's been a tough year for you, right? But the best gift I can give myself is health. Maybe it's health related and not necessarily financial related, but how are your finances and how have all these things that we've been talking about with planning and all of that, what would you plug in here as your best gift you could give yourself this year in regards to what we're talking about with holiday spending? Do you either one of you have something you would plug in there for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say, go
Okay.
ahead, Herschel.
Go, IE. Yeah, please.
I would say a debt-free holiday.
Okay.
Because it would just be a relaxing, wonderful, stress-free time.
Yeah.
Just a chance
you feel proud
Yes.
when you've accomplished something and you're like, I did that with cash, right? Like no matter what it is, whether it's a car or a boat or something for the house, whatever, like you just feel accomplished and good to go. We worked really hard to not have the burden of that on our back. Yeah, that's a good one. What about you, Herschel?
I got a couple. Patience, peace, and grace. 2020 has been a very challenging year. I think it's okay to give ourselves a pass for this year. Don't be so hard on yourself. If some of those goals that you set out for yourself, you weren't able to attain, that's okay. It's all right. Goals are meant to be modified, adjusted, and then met. Don't beat yourself up. Again, patience, peace, and grace is what I'm providing myself as my best gift for me for 2020.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What about you, Kelly?
Yeah, I think mine would be, and I know this might sound crazy, but honesty, like being real and transparent and honest with myself about my spending habits and about, just the dynamics of, family finances, as far as, I'm married, so there's another person who also has opinions about me, right? And so I think really just honesty is the best gift I can give myself in regards to my finances, because it's what's going to help me be very real moving forward, I think, and like that face in the mirror kind of thing.
Yeah, that was good,
Right.
Kelly. I like that one. That was nice. Honesty within yourself.
Honesty. So plan ahead for 2021, guys. I know we're talking about Christmas 2020, but how can you go ahead and start putting some of the things? Maybe you feel like, okay, it's too late for me this year, which is not too late for you, because you can still hit the brakes on some things that you already were planning to do, like for Christmas with credit cards and things like that. But plan ahead for 2021. Go to our website and check out some of the ways that you might be able to creatively start saving. And you can start this now even and not touch it until next year. But we have holiday and savings special accounts where you can set up payroll deduction. You can do a set amount each paycheck. You can do automatic transfers once a month or however often you want to do. It's out of sight, out of mind. We even have one that you can do like during the holiday season. The summer season, like summer savings account. If you like to take family vacations and you want to take those family vacations on cash, you could save all year long. And here's the cool thing that I like about our holiday and summer savings accounts. We make it hurt just a little bit and
right?
A little bit when you want to access that money outside of those months.
We paint you. That's what we do. We paint you just a little.
Yeah. It's kind of like an itty bitty little, yeah, just a little pinch, not like a taser, just a pinch. But anyway, so in the holiday, it's November and December, you can withdraw as much as you want without any penalties. But if you try to withdraw from the account any other time during that year, you have to pay a $5 withdrawal fee. So it's kind of like the purpose of it is to motivate you to keep it in there. Same with the summer. Special savings accounts are a little different. Special savings account acts like a normal savings account. You can withdraw up to 3 times in the month without paying any penalties. But this is really nice if you wanted to have just a separate savings account for incidentals or other things that you might spend throughout the year. So it doesn't necessarily have to be for a specific holiday or occasion. You can use it however you want. It's pretty customized. So that is a really great way to do that. I have a special savings account and I absolutely love it because we'll usually set a goal for whatever we're saving that for, that item that we want to purchase that year or something like that. And I have one right now that's a overseas vacation that we want to take on our 20th wedding anniversary.
Nice, Kels.
We are putting money in it every month because we want to go overseas for our 20th wedding anniversary and we want to pay for it in cash.
Yeah.
Not want to put that on a credit card. Could you imagine coming home from a vacation like that and then having to pay it off? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're just kind of doing it now, right? And because it's in a special savings account, it's earning a little bit of interest. So it's working. You could also do a CD or something like that. You have a big family thing you wanted to do, you could stick it in a CD, let it draw some more interest, right? Over time. So that, my friends, is holiday savings and spending.
Thank you, Kelly.
Final thoughts.
For moving this a little bit closer to the holidays. I think July would have been a great time, but I think here in September we've actually, I think we've triggered something here closer to the holiday season. I think we're going to have more engagement from those that have in the past not been so honest with themselves and their budget, right, for the holiday. I think we hit on something today, and I'm excited about the response that we'll get from those that are really truly identifying holes within their budget, gaps within their income, and things that they can do to help really truly bridge that debt management and strategic planning for the finances moving forward. I think we hit it today, ladies. I think we really did.
Kelly, how about you? Final thoughts?
So it's not too late for those people that think it's too late for this year. Like I said before, there's 7 pay periods. So if you're biweekly, if you get paid biweekly and you save $50 a check and put it in your savings account for Christmas, that's $350. You don't have to try and figure out where that's coming from. That you don't have to worry about. If you can do more than that, how great would it be if you could do $100 a paycheck? That would cover almost all your presents. And actually, if you shopped really well, it would cover all your presents.
Absolutely.
For the average person. So just think about starting the new year off without all that Christmas debt and then saving up for the next year. If you can do $50 a pay period the whole next year, just think about where you're going to be at next Christmas and what you're going to be able to do. Or maybe you'll even get to take that trip on top of all your Christmas. I mean, it's
have your cake and eat it too.
Yep. It's just a little thing. So yeah,
it's so true. Very good. Very good. Well, if you would like to reach out to us personally and ask us something that's specific to your personal budgeting needs, or if you have a situation you're trying to clear up before the holidays, shoot us an email at community@envisioncu.com. It will come directly to our team right here that you see. And one of us will be able to work with you to help you with setting a budget, freeing up some extra income, finding a way to pay off that debt, or like Kelly was saying, get a plan for next year. Even if you want to try to figure out, maybe you just need somebody else to kind of give you a little bit of a boost. We can certainly help you with that. So, all right. So
before we leave, Kelly, let's remind our viewers and our members and our listeners, we will not have a Moneywise Wednesday next week. But we will be returning back to our normal schedule on the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken, ladies. Is that right?
That sounds right.
Yes.
So not next week. Next Wednesday, we're going to be off, but the Wednesday after that. And we're only going to have 2 more Moneywise Wednesdays for going live, because we pretty much taught on every topic that there is. So you'll be able to see a full suite of all the different topics that we've been teaching through since March available to you to go back and play. So we'll pop up on Facebook every once in a while and do some flashbacks so everybody can stay in the know about, some of the topics that they've missed any of them. But thanks for reminding us of that. Our team needs a much needed break that day, and it'd be good. September's a long month anyway, so it works out for us. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will not see you next week, but we'll see you in 2
2 weeks.
later. That's right. Bye.